me some ice. Skin me a peach and save the fuzz for my pillow. Poach me a prawns, talk to me nice, you got to wine me. Anytime I'm getting hungry, peel me a grape.
I'm Laura Bonicelli, and we are cooking with Italian style. It's not always fast, it's not always easy, and it's not always Italian. We use the freshest and finest ingredients that we can find and afford, and we not only savor the meals we make, we savor making them. That is cooking with Italian style. This week, we're making a coffee and chocolate encrusted beef fillet and serving it with a tortilla and chili sauce. It is absolutely a showstopper. Let's get cooking. I've got my beef fillet coming up to room temp. It's been sitting out for about a half an hour. It will cook evenly, so that's the reason I do it. And I have here some coffee, which I'm going to grind 3 tablespoons of very fine, and I'm going to mix that with a tablespoon and a half of unsweetened cocoa powder and an 1/8 teaspoon each of cayenne and cinnamon. So I'm going to get my apron on and I'll start grinding my coffee. I'm going to season my roast. This is about a 3.5 pound roast, by the way. It should feed 6 people very nicely. A little salt and a little pepper. And then I'm going to just drizzle some olive oil. And yet again, get my hands all dirty. I have to wash them after. And just kind of rub this all over so it's coated with the oil and salt and pepper. And then I'm going to take it, and this is my coffee mixture, and I'm going to just roll it right in the coffee mixture. Just like this to coat it all over. And you don't want this to be, heaped on top because it's a lot of flavor. You want it to be somewhat subtle. Just kind of mess it around like that so it's nice and coated. Then I'm just going to put it right on a roasting pan that I coated with nonstick spray, and I'm going to pop it in the oven at 400 degrees for 10 minutes. Lower the heat to 250 and cook it low and slow until it comes up to 135. I better wash my hands. I just turned my beef down to 250, and while that is slowly cooking, I'm making my tortilla sauce. And when I say tortilla sauce, I mean really tortilla sauce. I'm cutting up 2 yellow corn tortillas that I picked up at the co-op, and they actually smell very good, and it's going to give this sauce this just great corn flavor. So cut them this way now, just little pieces. We're going to actually puree this whole thing together, so you don't have to be very exact in this. Okay, and now I'm going to take my chilies and cut the top off. And these are actually, they're dried, but they're still pretty moist. And what you want to do with this is get rid of the seeds, like that. Just pour them right out. They're sort of like a maraca in a way. They've got the seeds loose inside, and get rid of all of them because they are hot. And then I'm going to just do the same thing with this, cut them into little pieces. So when I'm done, I'm going to heat up a tablespoon of butter and start sauteing my onion and garlic. I've got this over a medium-high heat, and you can see how my butter is foaming up. In goes a medium-sized red onion and 4 cloves of chopped garlic. And I'm going to just cook these nice and slowly for about 5 minutes to soften them. I'm not trying to brown them, I just want them softened and translucent. Now I'm adding in another tablespoon of butter, and we'll let that start melting down. And to that, I'm going to add my 2 chopped up tortillas and my chilies, which the chilies, by the way, are guajillo chilies. And I'm also adding a chipotle and adobo sauce pepper, which will give this a wonderful smoky flavor. And it smells amazing. This is going to go for another 5 minutes just to soften all these up. And I'll just keep my eye on it and stir it when necessary. It smells kind of spicy in here. Okay, now a couple of cups of homemade chicken stock. And I'm going to turn my heat down so this will simmer for about 15 minutes. I took it off the heat, and now I'm going to puree this right in the pan with my stick blender. This will take just a few minutes. Okay, I think that's about as good as it gets. Now, because I don't want anybody to get jolted with any bits of pepper, I'm going to just take this and pour this right through a sieve, fine strainer, into a bowl. And I have to do this in sections because it takes a little bit to get through. And you just kind of rub it in the strainer like so. You can see it starts to come through, and it's beautifully smooth. Just a gorgeous sauce. But this takes just a little bit of time. You don't want those pieces going through. You can see I pulled my beef out of the oven. I actually took it out at about 130 and tented it with foil. And I'm going to let it sit and let those juices redistribute for at least 15 minutes and probably more like a half an hour. It's very important that you do that. And that beef is great served at room temperature or hot. So now, to finish off my little sauce here, a little salt, a teaspoon of brown sugar, and about a 1/4 cup of cream or half and half. I happen to be using some cream. And we'll mix this up, and then I'll give it a little taste. That is smoky. It's going to go so well with the chocolate and the coffee, but it's not overwhelming, just a perfect complement. So this is cooked absolutely perfectly. It's nice and pink. If you wanted a little more done, you could do that, but this is the way I like it. Now to plate this, I'm just going to take some of my tortilla sauce and make a little, isn't that just beautiful? So I sauteed in a couple of tablespoons of butter, some oyster mushrooms to use as a garnish and to finish this off. Just like that. A little salt and pepper on the mushrooms, just perfect. And now I'm going to just lay my beef right into the sauce, like so. I'll clean that plate up in a second. And on top, my mushrooms. Isn't that gorgeous? Yum! Perfect. If you want this recipe and more, go to solobybonicelli.com and click on the recipe button. I really hope you enjoy making my coffee and chocolate encrusted beef fillet with tortilla and chili sauce and cooking with Italian style. Thanks, Part Boutique, for the wardrobe, and buon appetito!